Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'm going to give you 3 of some of my more effective run ideas that you can use that take an hour or less to either add some new life back into your running, or if maybe you've plateaued with your running, you can use some of these ideas to hopefully get you to the next level. Okay, so first up I'm going to be talking about running hills. Now hills are something that I know a lot of runners, probably a lot of you watching this, hate doing, and a lot of you avoid at all costs. And I'm not recommending that you do hills all the time, but I do recommend that you do them maybe at least once a week, if not at least every 2 weeks. And that doesn't have to be hill repeats where you go to the bottom of a hill and you sprint up to the top, and you do that from anywhere from 3 to 10 times. So for myself, I live in a super hilly area, and basically all of my runs are hill runs. Even my easy runs, they still have a ton of elevation gain. And you know what? Because I run hills all the time, my overall running volume compared to previous years is crazy low, and I'm actually running faster times. It wasn't until I moved to this area that I ever thought of running an easy route over a really hilly route, but it's just because of where I live, I have to do that. And during my easy runs, I always base that on my heart rate. So when I'm running up a hill, I make sure, that I'm not hitting a certain threshold. And if I do, I just slow it down. But I definitely recommend trying some easy runs over a hilly route and seeing what happens. Yes, you're going to have to set your ego aside and go a little bit slower, because your pace obviously is going to be much slower at the same heart rate over a hilly course versus a flat course. And then, of course, there's nothing wrong with doing actual hill interval training. That's what most of us know as hill workouts. So you go to the bottom of a hill, you sprint up to the top, you run easy back down, and you do that a handful of times. I don't do that as often anymore, just because I am running hills all of the time. So a lot of my harder interval training is usually work done on the track or a tempo run. But if I were to say have a race coming up and I did know that it was really hilly, then I would do some hill interval training. So for those of you that don't like running hills, I'd say suck it up, start to like hills, and it'll definitely take your running to a next level. Alright, tip number 2 is adding strides into the middle of a run. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with strides. You can do them at the beginning or the end of a workout. That's typically what most runners do. And that's essentially where you're accelerating up to about 85 to 90% of your max speed, and you're only holding that for 10 to 15 to 20 seconds. And you're really focusing on running your strides, being smooth, being efficient, having proper running form. And what I've actually recommended to some of my athletes is to do them in the middle of your workout. So if you're doing them in the middle of a workout, I often like doing them in the middle of an easy run. And it just helps to add some variety into an otherwise pretty boring workout. So if you had, say, a 40-minute run, you could do a 10 to 15-minute warm-up, and then you could do 5 to 6 times 30-second strides, and then run easy for the rest of your workout. Just remember, doing this workout, you shouldn't be getting too tired. It shouldn't be elevating your heart rate too high. If that is happening, then you're doing your strides for too long. This is just about holding good form and being smooth at this faster running speed, and you're just tapping into that faster speed. You're not holding it for so long that your heart rate gets elevated and that running becomes difficult. So for those of you that dread your 30 to 45-minute easy runs, try adding strides in the middle of them. Alright, and I saved my best for last, and that would be kilometer repeats. If I had to pick one interval workout to do for the rest of my life, I would definitely choose kilometer intervals. So a kilometer, or about 0.62 of a mile, is such a perfect distance for doing interval work at. They can be a great workout even if you're trying to get faster at, say, a 5K. You can be doing these kilometers at a really, really fast pace, say your 5K pace, with lots of rest in between. And they can be beneficial all the way up to a marathon even, doing them obviously a lot slower than your 5K pace, but you can have a much shorter rest interval in between. I like doing kilometer intervals on the track. Usually I'll be running on a 400-meter track and it's 2.5 laps. Or you can even do them on a road. I prefer usually doing them on a flat road so my times aren't skewed. So just to give a couple examples of some 1K interval main sets that you could do, you could go to the track and your main set could be 5 by 1K on the track, and your goal for each of the 1Ks is to hit the same pace that you want to hold in the race. So let's say you want to run a 20-minute 5K, then each of your 1Ks on the track need to be done in 4 minutes. And for these intervals, you're going to be wanting really, really long rest, even all the way up to taking equal rest. So you could do your 1K run in 4 minutes and then rest for 4 minutes and then do the next one again. Likewise, you could do the same workout but maybe do 10 by 1K, but your goal is to hold your half marathon pace, but you're only taking 45 seconds to 60 seconds rest in between each one. So you're running at a slower pace than your 5K pace, but you're getting much less rest. So those are just 2 examples of main sets that you can do using 1 kilometer intervals. You can be creative, you can look online, you can ask me in the comments for other workouts, but doing 1K workouts, the possibilities are endless, and it's definitely one of my favorite go-to workouts. So if you like these ideas, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more everything running, triathlon, and nutrition related.